In this video, I'm going to talk about the first set of requirements for the Piaffe, which is a soft jaw, soft poll, and yielding of the haunches. If you like this video, there will be 5 more of these in this series. Like, subscribe, and there's a thank you button. Send us a few bucks. We can make more content for you. All right, rockers and fellow horse nerds, Jarastafari, we are going to look at the Piaffe. It's such a cool thing. Why do we want the Piaffe? What is the Piaffe? What does it even mean? It's a French word, obviously, and it means to strut lightly, but it's also a Parisian slang word from the 19th century, meaning a little bird, like a sparrow. And so there's an innate feeling of lightness and flight in there. When do horses do Piaffe in nature? Remember, in this dressage business of dressing a horse, hopefully we're doing dressage and not stressage, we are only really tapping into natural behaviors that the horses do anyway in nature. You can't really train a horse to do something that they don't somehow do in nature anyway. I have tried. I got my horses to do the laundry for a while, but they mixed up all the lights and the darks and the colours ran. When I tried to get them to do my taxes, they just claimed everything, so that was a disaster. So we are going to stick to things that they do in nature. So when does a horse do Piaffe in nature? 3 behaviors: when they fight, when they flirt, mating behavior, and when they play. If you keep young colts in particular, you will see a lot of this going on in the field. And so it's an innately passionate behavior. So it means that sometimes you're going to get a little bit teeth coming, particularly if it's a male horse, because they might be in a part of their brain that says, activate the teeth so that you can get on top of the mare and hold yourself steady on the neck. Or you might get a little bit of a kind of playful, ooh, I'm going to try to push you around, Mr. Monkey vibe, because that's how they would use it with each other. So just know that these passionate, playful responses are part of the deal. Be ready for them. Know that they're coming. Don't be freaked out by them, but know how to hold your body at the side of the horse, at the shoulder, so that you stay out of any potential line of fire. The horse isn't trying to hurt you. He's just tapping into that natural passion. Okay. Now, in order to get the Piaffe, when a monkey wants it, then we have to ask the inside hind and the outside hind to come under the point of gravity, so that the horse goes into kind of a quantum state where their energy is in potential and they could move it this way, that way, that way, that way, that way, in any one of 3 dimensions. That's what fighting, flirting, and playing is. We do exactly the same thing, by the way, in human life. When we dance, when we play, when we do martial arts, yoga, we adopt this kind of stance where we might drop our center of gravity a little bit low, and then we can move in all these different dimensions with different parts of our bodies. Horses do the same thing. They've got 4 legs, so it looks a little bit different. So we're going to take you through a series of exercises where we put these hind legs under the point of gravity, and then we activate it into something that becomes the Piaffe. You're going to see us do this over 6 videos. All right. But the first thing we're going to need to do, and the pony's going to come in a minute, is we need to make sure that the pony is available. How do we make sure he's available? We want to make sure the jaw is soft and mobile. So we ask for the horse to give a little bit with the jaw with some flexions. Then we want to know that we can change the poll flexion, because we're going to need that for putting the inside and the outside hind leg under the point of gravity later, you will see. And then we need to yield the hindquarters away from us to make sure that there's a sort of soft throughness through the body, and the horse isn't going to use that hindquarters to do something funky like explode in some weird direction or so on. So, because the hindquarters are the motor of the horse, and we want to make sure that they'll activate in an easy way, that they will not activate, that they won't activate too much, or activate in a way that is not so good for a monkey, like that, for example. So we need to make sure of all those things. Okay, so pony's going to come, we're going to do that. And then we need to know we have an on switch and an off switch. We need to make sure the horse will come forward from a very gentle touch here, and then stop with the whip on the shoulder. So there's no yanking, no force, no tension in the whole thing. So let's just see now if we have those things. And if we have those things, we can go on to the next things. Thank you. So this is Colour Sergeant Cecilia, who's come from Denmark very kindly to help us. And this is Mr. Hidalgo here. There's a bit of a he knows the Scooby. He just saw Kira coming with the Scooby snacks. So he's like, oh, Scooby snacks. There we go. There we go. Good. Now the under neck is
nice and relaxed. Good. Now I want to see, can I get a flexion of the pole? One way and the other. Little flexion that way. Yup. Little flexion my way. Yup. Oh yeah. Little flexion away again. Yup. Little flexion my way. And I'm just doing this at little vibrations. Now, if you go to our Piaffe course, which is on our website, heliosharmony.com or longridehome.com, then you'll see how to do all this in little micro steps. I'm going through it pretty fast right now because I don't want to bore him. All right, now I want to see, can I get an on switch? That's to come forward with a small touch of my thing, and I'm going to yield the quarters away, touching the gaskin there, keep my hand low, good. And I'm going to stop him with whip, on the shoulder, like that. That will eventually become the closing of the rider's knees, so you don't have to use these to stop the horse. That's quite useful, all right? And I'm going to do the other side. So I'm going to walk backwards in a small circle, and I'm going to keep my hand a bit low, and I'm going to touch that gaskin. I've got there, and whip on the shoulder to, stop. Good. And there, he stops like that. So what you'll see is a general overview of what are the main steps over 6 videos to get yourself a nice Piaffe. However, please be aware that in reality, this takes 18 months, sometimes 2 years. Some horses get it really quick, but then you have to discipline yourself not to go too quick because you don't want to overload your horse's brain. And less is always more. So you'll notice a couple of times we have observation monkeys who would tell me if I was getting too intense and asking for too many steps, all right? And then later, we're going to do a second series of how you add the rider. Because if you teach it in hand first, then the horse knows everything. He knows what to do. He knows how to organize himself. He knows how to carry himself. He doesn't mind if the rider makes a bit of a mistake. If we do everything from the saddle, unfortunately, should the rider make a mistake, and I know that I do frequently, then the whole thing will fall apart. I need a horse that can be a bit kind of independent of my mistakes. That's what self-carriage is. So we're going to work with this guy. Now, the final thing, some of you will say, oh, but Rupert, this horse clearly knows how to do a Piaffe. Yes, he does. But because of that, he can show you each individual step. Again, if you're starting with a horse that doesn't know how to do this, you're going to go over to heliosharmony.com. and you're going to check on that Helios Harmony course, and all of the micro steps will be there, okay?
If this was in any way helpful, if you liked it, then please hit those thumbs up buttons, subscribe, tell a friend and share. There's also a thank you button down there. If you send us a couple of bucks on there, it helps us to create more time, to create more content like this for you. We've got more on the Piaffe coming, there's more ways. So, if you want to come and work with us and our ponies directly, you can do that. You can just go to the website below, heliosharmony.com, and send us an email and make a plan. And there is, of course, also an online course there if you join the site, heliosharmony.com, that will take you from zero to the Piaffe in hand with your own pony. So, those are the plugs. See you on the next one.